Hello and welcome to this test stream that we're doing here for Nicole Vesey, and it's just a little test ready to hopefully give Rise some pointers in regards to the interviews that we do. So how you doing, Nicole? You all right?
I'm all right. A little bit nervous. Go easy on me. I'm all right. Yeah. How are you?
That's good. I'm all right. I'm good actually. A bit tired after that commentary that we did, the one that we got off with a little while ago. But no, I'm all right. I'll rattle through them and do the best I can, considering it is like almost midnight.
Yeah.
So we'll get cracking and we'll get started. So the first one, what was one thing that you saw yourself doing growing up? So like sort of professionally or that sort of thing.
Yeah, growing up, probably something to do with caring for people. I never really decided whether that would be kids, elderly people, just something caring for people in general. Just something in that profession.
Okay. I think Tom, is he saying he wants your cam to go on, or is he saying about my camera being on? I don't know. But anyway, the second point there, what advice would you give to somebody who's looking to get into work at the moment, obviously with the coronavirus and everything like that? And obviously, it's difficult for a lot of people in terms of could be mental health, could be physical health in terms of that as well. So what is the one thing is, kind of advise people on?
Well, it's a bit difficult. I'm no job expert, Luckily, I managed to solidify a spot in a job before the coronavirus outbreak. Yeah, right now it is still very difficult to get a job. I mean, to be fair, partway through, if you lost your job, or even at the start, if you lost your job, a lot of people found jobs in supermarket retail.
Yeah.
Just because they were just taking them on by the truckload.
I was just going to the second point of that question as well. Sorry, is what are your opinions on furlough?
In a way, I don't really know. I do think it's helped. I think it's helped a lot of people because I do remember seeing a lot of people saying when it started to all crack off, and because there was a lot of people that just quit before it even they just threw in the towel before it even got to anything crazy, and a lot of people lost their jobs, lost where they were renting, stuff like that. And a lot of people were worried, and I do think it's helped people a lot. Maybe people have had to cut down on what they're spending and stuff like that because it was only 80%. But
then on the other hand, it might help people save a bit as well.
Yeah, I mean, my mum personally, she was furloughed, and although I still had a wage coming in and stuff like that, we weren't struggling by any means. But we definitely would have struggled a lot more had she not had anything and wasn't working. So it definitely has helped people a lot, I think.
Yeah, I think that's that's very valid as well with that point. So the next one is, what is your proudest achievement or accomplishment in sort of life so far, where you're at the moment?
If anyone did watch that half an hour test with Ray, I said just managing up to now, just really managing to actually hold down a job. I know it's kind of been made easier with my social anxiety in terms of doing it from home, but it's been really testing at times because obviously I was very new. I only got through a week of actual training in person before I was sent home. I was sent home a little bit earlier than the other people in my group, apart from one other girl, due to being high risk. They got like an extra week in there over me. But yeah, it has been testing because my company weren't used to working from home. So they had to like throw something out there, make something work. And yeah, it's not been the most supportive, but at the same time, I understand why not, because the people that are supporting you, like your managers and stuff like that, they've got 10 million other things they've got to do.
Yeah, of course.
So it's difficult. So yeah, it has been testing at times, but even at breaking point, I've managed to keep myself going and stay at it. So, and normally I wouldn't, but even getting the job, normally I wouldn't have been able to up until now. But so yeah, probably that.
And then in terms of this, I'll do a follow on to that one really as well. So how has it affected you working from home and having to work from home with the virus and everything like that, and all of the safety measures that have been put in place with the lockdown that happened?
If we were told we had to work and we had to go in and mingle with everyone and stuff like that, even at a social distance, I definitely would have been worried. I wouldn't have felt comfortable and stuff. So it's been good on that aspect. But again, with the whole learning how we do things and stuff like that, and not getting full proper training, it's been difficult, quite lonely at times. I would quite like to get back into the office now, but as it stands, don't know how soon that's going to be. But yeah, it has been lonely at times, but it's kind of been all right. I am just a little bit nervous now because how it worked is the training room was actually downstairs away from the actual office where we were.
All right. Yeah.
So I never actually really got myself
sort of familiarised with everything.
Familiar with the office. So obviously we had like a little tour and stuff like that, but I never sat down in the office at my desk and just, got used to everyone else in the office and stuff like that. So when we eventually do go back, I'm going to be very socially anxious about that, but can't be helped. Yeah.
And we've got a few people in there as well. So hi everyone that's watching.
Hello,
so we'll move on to the next question really, and the next one is something a little bit different, in fact. So if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be, and what would your reasons why be as well?
I'm going to be very boring here. I would probably move Liverpool way. Not necessarily directly in Liverpool, but close by, that sort of, Liverpool, Chester area. Really, reason being is because a lot of my family are around there. It's a little bit closer to them. I mean, I'm not that far away, being in North Wales, but I'm a home comforts kind of girl. I don't really have any big dreams to like go and live in a lavish different country and all that kind of stuff.
So you don't want to go and live in one of those lovely houses at Disneyland then, no?
No. maybe go on like a 6-month trip or something like that, But no, I'm very much might sound boring, but I'm very much a home comforts kind of girl. So
okay, and that kind of follows on with the next question a little bit as well. So what are 5 things that you value the most? So it could be like in terms of maybe something like that. It could be location of, being surrounded by your family and stuff as well. It could be one of them.
5 things I value most: family, friends, food, shelter. I couldn't imagine, and touch wood, I never have to experience anything like homelessness and stuff. So I'm very grateful that even when I have money worries, like a lot of people do and stuff like that, I'm very lucky that I've always got food and shelter over my head. That's for sure. And 5th thing, probably my phone, because it keeps me from being bored.
Sims. Got a message here. I'm going to read this because this is quite good from Mirana. I think that's right, Mirana. I'm not thanking the crisis, but aren't we more effective to do some work at home? I mean, we are more comfortable, no need to move, but in other ways it can be stressful not to go out. Yeah, it kind of links into both. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So on to that actually, my company, there's been talks of what's going to happen now, like what's going to become our new normal as a whole for the company.
Yeah.
There are some people that just cannot stand being at home, in terms for work and that. There was talks that they're probably going to give everyone the option what they want to do. Do you want to work from home full time? Do your normal hours all from home? Do you want to do it all from work? Or actually give people the option, pick half your week that you'd work from the office or work from home,
Yeah.
They're very adjustable.
That's really good that they're flexible and stuff in terms of that.
Yeah.
On the other side, list 2 pet peeves of yours and why they annoy you, rather than people, more like actual things.
Things. 2 pet peeves. Rudeness. I don't like people that are unnecessarily rude to others.
Yeah.
It's just not necessary, is it?
No,
I understand people get annoyed about things, but I always like to try and rather than go straight to being rude, just try and find an alternative.
Yeah.
A second one, ignorance.
Yes, I know people say ignorance is bliss sometimes, but it's very rare that's actually the case.
In some regards, I can accept it in terms of for anxiety purposes and stuff, like things like there's a lot of things in the world that go on generally that I don't like to hear too much about.
Yeah, of course. So you won't sit there and watch the news and whatever. Yeah.
A lot of anxiety, but they're things that are very far away. I'm not ignoring like social issues that are very present, and it's not stuff like that. But yeah, there's a lot of things or people that refuse to even learn. There's been quite a few things this year that have come about, been brought up in media, in life, that shouldn't be happening in 2020, if you know what I mean. And people that want to see things black and white and don't want to even listen. It's not even it's everyone has their own opinions, and we don't all agree.
We can say this in terms of I know 1 or 2 of the times that you're probably thinking of exactly in terms of like social media and all of that, where political debates and things like that obviously can be quite key to that kind of thing. And we've witnessed to that, and in my part been involved in that as well to an extent. But
yeah, I mean, everyone there's certain things that everyone has their own opinions on and stuff like that, and that's very much okay. But even from when I was younger, I was always quite good at making up an argument in my head, pros and cons, for and against. Trying to see both sides. I mean,
debate.
I might be able to see both sides of a story, but then make my own outcome out of that. A lot of people don't like to even listen to the prospect of a different opinion, and that frustrates me sometimes. At least try and educate yourself on a second story as opposed to just one, if you know what I mean.
So a lot of people don't listen, and the person that we're doing the stream for is currently on their phone. So there you go, perfect.
Brilliant. Told him he had to listen, but that's great.
The next one, any sort of weird or hidden talents that you have, or that you've learned during the lockdown as well?
Talents and stuff, nothing during lockdown, apart from I set myself at the start of lockdown to actually finally be able to properly put on fake eyelashes, and I accomplished that, so that's fine. I'm glad, I'm happy.
That's good.
I can do a little toe dance with my big toe.
That's really random, but okay.
The rest of the
Doesn't
toe
move.
stays still, and the
It just has
big toe
mind
does a little dance. Everyone loves it. Everyone loves it.
has a
Just
mind of
whip
its
my big
own.
toe out at a party, like, wait, it's dancing.
Has a mind of its own.
But no, apart from that, not really.
Fair enough. That was not complete. That was completely the opposite I was thinking of. But okay.
Why? What were you thinking?
I don't know. I was thinking what your hidden talents might be. I thought it would be something really quite good, but that's kind of bit. Yeah, I don't know. Strange. Would you rather win the lottery or work at your perfect job?
Oh, now you're testing me.
And of course, for those that didn't watch your other stream before, what was your perfect job? It was to own the cafe, wasn't it?
Yeah. Because the thing is,
Book cafe. Yeah.
If I won enough in the lottery, I could buy it and just have people working there, and I can just go and enjoy it.
Yeah, and just sit there and just have a coffee and read your own books that you've just put in there.
I can cheat the system. I can cheat this question. There's no rules. Yeah, probably the lottery, because it would give me more stuff. Not necessarily all materialistic, but in terms of I can buy loads of cute little makeup bits or clothes and nothing necessarily like that, because I can
you can do that anyway. Yeah
I can do that to a point anyway,
yeah.
But yeah, I can do more things in terms of I can give to more people, I can help my family out. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, if I won enough, that is. We're not talking like just like a tenner on the lottery. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't choose it winning a tenner in the lottery. We're talking a fairly big amount in the lottery. Yeah, I can help family, friends, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so more than 20 quid. That's what we call big amounts.
Yeah.
But no, that's quite a good point actually. If you can cheat the system, then why not do it? What would you say was your best trait or your worst trait in, like, personality wise?
I often say the best thing about me is probably half the time the worst thing for me. Not necessarily a worst trait for others, but how it impacts me. So you know me, even if I don't want to help someone, or if they don't deserve it, I still will. I can't help myself. I love to help people. Can't bear to think that anyone's crying out for help and I brush them off. I just can't do it. So I put a lot of time and effort into people, and I care about them. And more often than not, I don't receive it back. I don't give to receive, if you know what I mean. But if there's times where I've helped people, and maybe then I'm in a time of need in terms of just wanting someone to talk to, and they don't give it back.
Yeah, they don't
care less.
Yeah.
Or they get what they want from me, and then I don't hear from them for God knows how long. Do you know what I mean? So it feels like it's not very much appreciated. So that I would say that was my best quality, but it's not necessarily the best for me personally all the time. My worst trait. I'm sure Johnny could bring up a lot of worst traits.
What if somebody said to you that's like one thing that you kind of didn't realise that you did or whatever, and like you didn't realise? If there's anything like that you do more often? Yeah. Things that might aggravate people, get on the nerves a bit.
I snap a lot. In terms of, I don't necessarily realise I'm doing it. So like I'll be talking about something and someone's aggravating me, and even though in my head I'm like keeping calm, it's coming out very snappy. And I snap a lot. And don't get me in a kitchen, because one thing goes wrong in the kitchen and I throw everything else down, and I still.
So you're like a really Yeah, like throw a tantrum sort of thing.
Yeah, bit of a hothead in certain situations.
Yeah, kind of like Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. What is the best gift that you've been given by anyone?
By my mother, the gift of life. Yay. No.
Don't mention what? Don't mention what, right? Something about an egg.
Oh, don't mention eggs. Don't get me started on blooming eggs. I don't know. A lot of people have given me a lot of nice things. Trying to think.
The gift of life. That was a good answer. That's actually a good
Yeah.
answer. I
No,
like that.
everything I've ever been given gift-wise has all been quite materialistic.
Yeah. The next question is going to be difficult. No, it might not be difficult, but it might be a bit harsh. I won't say name who it was from.
Okay. Maybe you can tell me after.
No, I'll read the question, but I just because
Okay.
the next one is rather than the best gift, it's the worst gift. So it doesn't have to be in regards to like naming the person, naming and shaming them.
Oh, right. Okay. Best gift. Yeah, I get a lot of nice things. To be fair, I'm very lucky. So I couldn't pick one, so I'm going to stick with the gift of life.
Fair enough. And then what's the second question? Do you answer to the second one about the worst thing?
The worst gift.
Yeah.
It's I can't really to be fair, I can't really think of one. Because even as a child, I always got quite good gifts. But
Yeah.
dad one time, my dad was a Manchester United fan.
Yes.
I am not.
Hence the Nicole and Erica being
Hence the name.
Nicole and Eric Cantona. Yeah.
But I am not. I may have been forced a little bit when I was a kid and I didn't know what the hell I was getting myself into. But as soon as I got my own mind, definitely was not. I was probably about 15, no, a bit younger than that, maybe about 13, 14. And he got my brother, it was for Easter, so he got like my brother this like Liverpool bear and this Liverpool Easter egg and all this kind of stuff. And he got me on Manchester United the same, and he expected me to be very excited about it, and I was just like, I'm not going to be ungrateful, But it wasn't even good chocolate. Do you know what I mean? It was that Poundland type of chocolate. It wasn't even worth it for the chocolate aspect. But I can't really think of anything else if I'm honest.
Fair enough. I think we answered this one from Marina, did we? Already previously, kinda about if you can restart your life, what job are you going to choose?
Oh. If we're just going to cheat the system, then I'd give myself a job that was, I'd probably go into something business-wise, or even, get some knowledge on, I don't know, real estate and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
So you want to be like, what were their names in? What was that? That Netflix show where the real estate agent but she ends up going around killing and eating everybody. What was it called?
Killing and eating everybody.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up. People in the comments might be able to help me. But they were like, it was Santa Clarita Diet. That was the one. There we go.
Oh, right.
The next one. What is the longest you've gone without sleep and why?
Without sleep? Probably during lockdown. One of the quite probably a couple of months ago now, I went about 27 hours without sleep.
I bet that messed with your head.
It didn't feel good. I'll be honest, I did not feel good. it was a Tuesday to a Wednesday. I remember that because of my work schedule. So I wasn't working on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'd woken up, I'd fallen asleep maybe about 8, 9 o'clock on the Monday night. Woken up at about 3 o'clock and couldn't get back to sleep.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I've got work so on the Tuesday, so I thought, well, I can't go to sleep. Like, I was getting tired by about 7. I was like, I start at 9. I can't go to sleep now. I just can't.
You're not going to wake up. Yeah.
Yeah, so kept myself awake. Got through work, feeling very tired. Was thinking, I'm not in work tomorrow. I'll have a nap when I finish work. It's fine. It's fine. And then for some reason, I just didn't sleep. I didn't have a nap. And then
oh wow,
for some reason my body just didn't get tired again. I tried to get I didn't try to get to sleep. I got tired about 12, but I was doing something else at the time that by the time I'd finished whatever I was doing, I had like gone into like, you know, a second wind. And about 5 a.m. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna get my Fitbit on, I'm gonna go for a walk. And I went for
at 5 o'clock in the morning. You went for a walk. Was it quiet? Was there like nobody there? Was it really deserted?
Yeah, it was really quiet. And I did about 7,000 steps.
Oh wow.
And I got home about 7 o'clock. And I just conked out. I was done for.
This kind of could relate to that as well. What's your favourite genre of music?
Oh, see, I like...
Is it different compared to different things that you like, relating to different things you're doing? Have you got like workout music?
It's a little bit all over the place.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Have you got workout music? Have you got music for just downtown sort of downtime?
Yeah, it's just whatever mood I'm in, really.
Yeah.
If I could pick an overall one that I vibe with the most is probably Motown. Definitely Motown. I love a bit of my old school Motown.
There's some good Motown artists and bands as well. Mum loves all of them, sort of, you know, Motown musicians.
Yeah, definitely Motown.
It's a good question as well from Mirana. What makes you happy, like to the point where you can't even remember you're alive, or you're kind of just that zoned in, you're that in the moment, you just
honestly, just when I'm spending time with like my nieces and nephews, they just bring a different light to my life.
Yeah,
they honestly do. It's, you know, it's lovely.
I mean, it's like that with children, isn't it? It's like they've got the potential to be very, like that to kind of just help you forget worries and problems and that. If you're fully,
and I do love a good Christmas as well.
Interaction with them. There's another question. I'll mention that in a little while in regards to traditional, like holiday traditions and whatever. Like, so we'll actually get onto that in a little while. But the next one is what? So rather than the how long are you gone without sleep? What is the most like vivid dream that you can remember?
There's a couple from my childhood.
Yeah.
There's a dream that felt so unbelievably real. That I sometimes get, like, when I think about it, sometimes I get scared that it's gonna happen again, but I don't think it will under the circumstances. So basically what it was, when me and my brother, who's 2 years older than me, when we were young enough to share a room, because in the house I grew up in, it was a 3-bedroomed house.
Okay,
so there was my parents' room, which was obviously the biggest, and then there was a big room, and then there was a box room. So I had my older brother who had his own room until me and my other brother got too old to share a room, being a boy and a girl, and then the boys had to share. And And yeah, so it was me and my brother. We had beds on the opposite side of the room, and his duvet cover was Thomas the Tank Engine.
Okay, yeah, I used to have one as well. Yeah.
And so I was sleeping peacefully, no problem.
Hmm.
And I must have woken up in my dream. So obviously I was asleep, but I'd woken up
So
as
you
if
were kind of halfway in the
it was
dream state.
real.
Yeah.
So it was almost like it was real, but it was in my dream.
Yeah.
I had woken up, it was dark and stuff like that. Like, obviously it would be had I actually woken up. And I looked over to him. I turned over and looked over to his bed, and his duvet basically started coming alive.
Oh, wow. That's
And
creepy. That's really creepy.
And not just, it wasn't like it wasn't even just that it came alive. Thomas was very evil.
Oh,
And
wow.
he was coming to me.
It's gonna come
It was very evil. And I remember
you or something like that, yeah.
And I remember like screaming in my dream for my parents, and they just won't come in. And he was getting closer and closer. And then just before he got to me, it's one of those like where something's about to happen and then you just wake up.
Yeah.
And I woke up, but because it felt so real, I was convinced that every time, even though he wasn't like in my dream, he had like come away from the beds and he was like coming towards me.
Yeah.
But obviously, when I'd actually woken up, he was still on the duvet cover. But you know, when you start like having like illusions and stuff like that, and you start, I was like deluding myself that like it was still very much real, and he had just gone back onto the duvet cover. But I started almost seeing his face change, and it wasn't. I was just convincing myself of it. And then I had to like sleep in between my parents for the rest of the night because I was.
I thought you were going to say for the rest of your life.
No, for the rest of the night I was absolutely mortified.
You're still there now. That's why your mum had to come in early to check on you to make sure you didn't have another funny Thomas the Tank Engine dream again. Here's one from my mate David. Actually, I went to school with him. Really nice guy. Do you believe in ghosts?
I do. To a point. There's a lot of times where I'm a bit like, oh come on, no, that's not real. You're making that up. You're stretching. You're trying to make something out of nothing here. I think more so, not necessarily. I don't know. It's weird. Not necessarily like ghosts, like you can actually see them.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel
there's something out there. Like
there's something out there, paranormal, maybe spirits. Not necessarily evil paranormal, but
I feel the same way because there's been multiple times where like I've felt that a presence of something and it's kind of got me out of the situation, or it's kind of guided me like along or guided people away from me or towards me at the right times or whatever. Like so.
Yeah, there's been definitely some odd things. Nothing crazy ever happened to me personally, but sometimes we hear stories that don't seem very fake, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, yeah. Bri has put, what's your favourite food?
Everything? No, I'm very fussy eater actually, so definitely not everything.
I could probably name 2 or 3 things, and straight away one of them would be something you didn't like.
Yeah, I love a good bacon sandwich.
Oh, with a proper good, nice,
good bacon sandwich.
Okay, that's cool. Brown sauce, red sauce. This is like completely off topic. But,
brown for sausage, red for bacon.
All right.
That's my. I mean, I like either, but if I'm gonna make a preference, red for bacon, brown for sausage.
All right. The next one. What is the most daring thing that you've done? Apart from met up with Rye when you went to Watford.
Yeah. I'm not a very daring person, if I'm honest. So that's not very easy to answer. Stupid. Maybe getting drunk when I was like a teen on the
Hmm.
pot, and like,
But everyone did that.
yeah, or going into the middle of town and doing it on a Saturday afternoon
Yeah.
around a bunch of strangers.
Mhm.
No, I'm not a very daring
David
person.
knows that everybody did that because we used to have. I think it was at my old house. There was a keg there, and I don't know if he remembers the story, but we had a big keg, and I think mum and dad had gone out after school or whatever at some point, and we were just sat in my room drinking it. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, maybe some stupid decisions when I was a teen, maybe, but yeah, I've not necessarily done anything daring.
Okay,
Not that I can think of, anyway.
Here's a good one. Who's the one idol that you look up to?
I don't. Probably just my mum.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Anyone
really
else?
look up
Or
to.
is
I
that
don't
not?
really look up to celebrities and stuff like that. I like celebrities and stuff, but I don't idolize them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you don't know what they've done, what they haven't, and stuff like that. I don't know.
There you go,
I can
mate.
appreciate
He remembers it well.
you drink most of it. Greedy, Mike. Greedy. Come on. Save some.
But no, go on. So other than your mum, is there anyone or just not really?
No, not really anyone.
Stupid can't be daring. Yeah, a fair point as well, babes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really idolize a lot of people.
That's all right. The next one,
You
yeah,
know.
appreciate it. Yeah. The next one, do you collect anything and why?
No. Just
No, not even like clothes or anything like that. You don't just hoard clothes. Bags or shoes or I don't know.
I like my bags. I do like my bags. I don't
Yeah.
have like an amazing collection of bags, but
Hmm.
they're a weakness. Like shoes are my mum's thing, bags are mine.
All right. The next one, where would you like to travel to and why?
I'd really love to travel to Canada. I don't know. I don't necessarily know why. There's not like a specific reason. It's just somewhere that I've always liked the sound of, the look of. Yeah, it's just one of those places that for me, for years, has just sort of stuck with me. I'd love to. I'd love to go to America as well, mainly just to try the food, the fast food.
Not to see
And of
certain
course,
people, no?
my wonderful friend gigs. Of course, I wouldn't travel to America without seeing her.
Yeah, same here, absolutely. And
Yeah,
a number of other people that are out there as well, yeah.
yeah, of course.
Make a little trip of it and end up visiting
Yeah,
about
maybe
5, 6
this
different
UK
people.
lot should make a very
Yeah.
long trip, like a 3 to 6 month long trip, and just go around America meeting all our friends over there.
That would be really good. Giggsy said, was one of them makeup? And
I guess
I was
so.
going to say sort of like half and half.
I
Yeah.
haven't. Besides buying a bunch of makeup that I needed because I was running out of essentials the other day. I haven't actually just brought makeup for the sake of it for a while now. I used to just buy it all the time for
What
no
was your last like really pointless purchase that you actually didn't really need, but you just went and got it anyway?
Ooh, probably clothes. Just
Yeah.
during lockdown, I brought a lot of clothes. For what? I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm in lockdown. Why am I buying clothes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't really need them, but yeah.
Fair enough.
I wanted to treat myself.
What was your favourite part of going to the Harry Potter studios, and if there was anything that you would do differently, or what was something that wasn't that great, then what would that be as well?
I mean, the actual studios itself was probably just seeing it. It was beautiful. I'm not gonna say too much about it in case anyone wants to go and they don't want to. They want it as a surprise, but I would definitely recommend going. It was truly lovely. It was a lovely experience. I just loved like it was it was it was something that Johnny wanted to do. So so I took him for his birthday. And probably the worst part was right. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
You can see him laughing and signing and behind the scenes there. So the next one is, what would you say out of your 5 senses is your strongest?
My smell. My smell is crazy good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably would have said my eyes, but then last year I needed glasses, so maybe not that anymore.
So you
Yeah,
can
definitely my
smell
smell. My
from
smell.
how far out, for example, or how far off?
I don't know from how far away, but there's a lot of time. I don't know whether you actually notice it ever, but if you drive in somewhere, and then there's like a smell, of like if you go and past like an industrial state, or you're close to an industrial state, or like a countryside, I'll smell it and I'll be like, oh my god, that reeks. And then we're still driving, and it's about
like
a
10,
good
15
2 to
minutes
5
later.
minutes later, and then all of a sudden everyone else smells it, and I'm like, I smelled that a long time ago.
And it's like we used to go horse racing a lot with my mum and dad, and the fact they've had horses and have horses still now. And there was one place on the way to Newmarket, which is of course on the way to Cambridge, and you'd go past a pet crematorium, and you could smell it, really strongly as you were coming up to it.
Yeah.
So that's one. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the next one, if you were a ruler of your own country, what would the first law be that you'd introduce? And why would that be?
Jesus.
I told you something from my heart.
First law. Probably equality for all. An actual equality, not
not according to people squiggles.
Not certain sexes trying to put down the other sex. And I understand that one sex has maybe been treated a lot better over the years, which can't be helped.
Yeah.
But definitely equality for all, so everyone's equal.
And as I said, not calling people squiggles, actually just saying what
their name is. Calling people squiggles. Yeah.
The next one, this is one we touched on earlier. What is your favourite holiday tradition and why? So like at Christmas time or whatever.
When I was younger, we had a great Christmas tradition when I was younger. It's just the way that we did Christmas. We'd see any sort of distant family throughout the day on not Boxing Day, sorry, on Christmas Eve, or like the couple of days before Christmas. Those last couple of days before Christmas, we'd make sure we see like my aunts, my mum's dad and mum and stuff like that. That side of the grandparents and stuff.
Yeah.
Christmas Day would be my household and my household only. We'd get up. We were allowed one small present that my mum picked out, because obviously she knew what was like big size. Because obviously you can't determine by size, really, can you?
Well, it depends. A lot of the time you can, but yeah.
Yeah, but she knew what was like just a little fun gift or whatever, and what was like meant to be an exciting gift. So we were allowed like one small present before breakfast, and then we'd have breakfast, which would usually be a bacon sandwich, bringing up the good old bacon sandwich again. Good old bacon sandwich, or maybe a small like sort of fry up or something like that. Then it was presents, and it wasn't a big manic chaos
It was quite relaxed and kind of
Yeah,
chilled
my
and
mum. So
easy.
my dad
Yeah,
would be sat in his chair. My mum would be by the tree.
Mm.
Like she'd pass a present to me. Everyone else had to wait whilst I opened it, and then once I'd finished opening mine, like she'd go in an order, and everyone,
yeah,
it
pass
was
it
one
between
present
you
at a time.
and
It wouldn't
yeah,
just be
yeah.
here's yours, here's yours, here's yours. Everyone just go at it. I don't like doing that. I like one present at a time, and we still on Christmas keep to that.
That's actually really good, and it keeps the excitement level going a lot longer than otherwise if everyone's just all piles in and then literally rips it all apart and then it's done. Yeah,
like I like seeing what everyone else gets, and I think like when it's just give everything to everyone. Like
yeah,
you sort of miss what people get, and you don't always necessarily get like you don't get to see everyone's reactions to things and stuff because you don't know what they're opening first and stuff. So I like to keep it in an order.
fair enough. It's a good point. In terms of animals, do you prefer cats or dogs or anything else? Yeah,
Dogs, all the way dogs.
really? Like I normally would say dogs, but then we've just had my sister come and she's been here all this week. And her old flatmate was here. Well, her old flatmate has a dog, and the dog was here as well. And the dog would not leave me alone. It would literally grab on. Like it was one of those. Obviously, he's still got his bits, and he was like, he'd done it to my dad. He'd done it to me. Like he kept trying to grab onto you, and yeah. I think you can imagine what I'm trying to say without going into too much
Yeah.
depth.
No, dogs are weird.
Normally dogs are, yeah, like obviously we had a dog for about 16, 17 years. So yeah. The next one, in your relationship, so you know, with Johnny, are there times that you and him are both thinking exactly the same things at the same time?
I don't know. We definitely, because we spent a lot of time together and stuff. Obviously, there are definitely times where we'll hear something or we'll hear someone say something or whatever, and we just give each other that look, like, really, like we heard the same thing, we're thinking the same thing.
Yeah, it's more thoughts. Like me and Giggs, for example, we call it the shared brain cell, where we literally think the same things more often than we don't. So
yeah, no, Johnny's a lot of the time we don't when we aren't thinking the same thing, just on the basis that we debate a lot. Not in like we're not debating against each other. We just debate about things that are happening that we've seen in the news or the world or whatever, and we'll just talk about it. We'll just have like a really good conversation about it, and we don't necessarily always start off thinking the same thing, or we have different opinions and stuff. But there's definitely times where we just give each other that look, like, and that we're thinking the same thing. But yeah, for sure.
And we'll go on to this next one as well. This is actually quite a good one. What are some red flags to watch out for in daily life? So, if someone's coming across you, what are some red flags to the fact they're getting on your nerves or whatever?
As like a friendship or
general, like everything.
God. It's a good question, but you got me thinking now.
That's the point. Like, what are some things that you just can't stand?
To me personally, I can't stand people that I don't know how to describe it. They're very what's the word, like condescending, like they just kind of like it's just their natural personality. That's just how they are, how they talk, in the way that they talk. Just everything they say just sounds like really condescending and stuff. I can't stand spending my time talking to someone like that.
Is there anything else, or is that the main one? Yeah.
I hate that. I mean, I'm not very good at talking about myself. Like, if you sat there and said, "Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself," like, I'd probably be like,
Yeah, but then again, like in terms of this now, you've sat here for 50 minutes and
Oh
you've
yeah, like in terms of this, if you're asking me a specific question, I can do it. But if you just generalize and say, okay, so I want to know about you, I'm like, what? I don't know what to say. But you know, when you meet someone,
like
or even
describe
if you're
yourself or
friends with
whatever.
someone, and they just talk about themselves, and like they don't even give you a chance to even say anything.
Yeah.
I mean, all those sort of people that just turn it about themselves constantly, and they don't care about anyone else or hearing about anyone else. They just want to, want to make it all about themselves. I hate that.
Well, then this is going to be a tricky one for you then, if you're not very good at describing things. Describe yourself in 3 words. You're literally only allowed to use 3 words. So it can be, doesn't have to make sense. It can be 3 separate words that relate to different aspects, but yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Kind.
Yeah. I see Ryan nodding along to both of them. Yeah. You can help out as well if you want, Ryan, with the 3rd one. Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, but right, like caring's another one, of course, as well. Like loving, yeah, like genuine as well is another one. I've always thought of you as being very genuine. So yeah, supportive. Yeah. There you go. Are you happy that you're helping out with RS Media?
Yes.
And what are you learning from doing it?
Not really learning a lot.
Apart from that, Ray, anytime you're doing anything with Ray, he's got to have at least about 10 points every time to learn and work on.
I am happy to help, because you know me, I can't help myself but help others. Obviously I have his best interests at heart, and it's something he's wanted to do, so I do enjoy helping him. I just wish he would listen a lot more and actually try and do things for himself in some regard. So no, I am happy. I help, but he just needs to listen to me a little bit more, because I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you do. You're smart. When you are older, what do you think your children or grandchildren would ask you to tell stories about? So, like at certain times in your life or whatever, yeah.
They would probably ask about. I don't know. I mean,
I think when you have children, I think obviously they want to know about your dad.
Oh yeah.
So and things like that, and family, like obviously family that you've been around, and
I definitely, if I'm going by myself, and I was very close to my grandparents. A lot of people often say that I have a very old head on my shoulders, if you know what I mean. I'm very beyond my years sometimes.
Yeah.
Not that I'm like that smart. I'm a little bit smart in certain. I'm more smart in street smart, if you know what I mean.
Savvy. Yeah,
street savvy and stuff like that. More so like that, but I learned a lot from my grandparents. I was very close to them, especially my grandmas. I used to ask them. I loved hearing stories about the family, like going back and stuff like that, and who's this, who's that, how did they meet, blah blah blah, like what happened here, there.
I like all of that as well, and I also like in regards to if you go somewhere with your family and they're like, oh, this is where I was with your granddad, and we went here when we were 16 years old. Like, it's good to know that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I really love all that sort of stuff. So I think my children and grandchildren will probably ask the same thing.
Yeah.
Want to know those sorts of little stories.
What about 2020, just as a year in general?
About 2020, yeah. I can tell them about 2020. That's fine. I'm sure I can.
So we'll move on then to this one here now. There we go. Let's have a look. Yeah. So, are you usually early or late somewhere?
Early. I like to be early. If I'm relying on
Well, like
my,
are you one of those people that are like ridiculously early? Like you're like
not
about an
ridiculous.
hour. Say you got to be somewhere. Say start work at 9, you'll be there for 8, and you'll just be sitting
No,
there
no, no, not
having a cup of
ridiculous.
coffee and a bacon sandwich. No.
Yeah, no, not ridiculous. I like to be early. It gives me pure anxiety about thinking about getting there late, and I'm definitely not for everyone else, but for me personally, I feel like if I'm on time, I'm
Yeah,
late. You know,
I disagree.
I like to get places about 15 minutes earlier than I'm
That's a
standard.
little bit too early for me, if anything. But yeah.
But
But then again,
yeah, no,
we're part of the young that's always been late everywhere. We lived 5 minutes away from the school
yeah,
where we used to go to, and we were still late every day. So there
yeah.
you go. Yeah,
My mum's very much a late person, and
yeah.
so if I'm relying on her, then the
Mm.
anxiety goes high.
It's normally like I'd have to wait for my brother. He's the one that took forever to get ready. Usually, it's like
Yeah.
we'd have to be somewhere at 9. He'd be in the bathroom still. Like if we were all going together, he'd be in the bathroom still at 8:50. It's 8:45.
Yeah.
The next one is, what would you say is your claim to fame?
What?
What would you say is your claim to fame?
Well, I've not had any experiences to be claimed to fame.
No, not like you've not met anyone famous
Uh,
and been on stage with somebody famous or whatever. Like no.
no, I haven't been on. I've met a couple of famous people that aren't that famous. Apart
Mm.
from the most famous is probably Shane from Westlife. That's probably the most famous person that I've met.
He's got a
Um,
nice voice though. I like him and his song. Is it
mm,
not all about you? About you? Is it or something?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Justin Bieber follows me on Twitter, so
He follows you on Twitter. There you go. That's your claim to fame. That's
there
good.
we go. That can be
That's
my fame. Justin Bieber follows me on Twitter.
that's a great claim to fame. There you go. That's perfect. How did that come about?
No idea. Genuinely no idea.
Yeah.
It was way back. It was. He's been following me.
He still follows you now to this day.
Yeah, he's been following me since like I
Can
don't
you
even know,
DM him and
2009,
like can he
2010.
actually, if you were to DM him, would he reply to your message?
Probably not. No, probably not. But he
Just be
definitely.
like, I just commented on my Twitter. I've just realised that you've been following me for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to do an interview for Storm FM?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't. I don't. If I think if I met, I think if I message him, he probably wouldn't see it,
yeah.
or reply. But no, yeah. I
That's
don't know how it came about.
mm,
Because I had Twitter. I've
yeah.
had Twitter since like 2009.
Mm,
But I went off it for ages, like because when I first got it, I didn't really know how to use it that much,
yeah.
and I just remember going back on one day, and there he was on my followers list. I was like,
And
"What?"
I bet that really like it wouldn't have creeped you out, but it would have made you feel a
I
bit
was.
like
He must.
weird.
I must have.
Weird
I
now.
don't remember now. Like I must have tweeted something
Yeah.
and tagged him in it because there's no well. He's famous for God's sake. Like there's no way he would have just randomly stumbled across.
But I don't
A
know if he controls his
tweet.
own page. Does he control it himself? Has he got a social media team? I don't know.
Well, this is way back when, so I think
Yeah, it probably would have been him. Yeah.
it probably would have been at that time. I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, actually, some of the tweets he puts out now, I think he does to a point actually use it himself. But yeah, there's
There's a claim to fame. That's probably as good as
yeah. Well,
any.
he used that as his claim to fame.
That's as good as any, to be fair. What's one big personal regret of yours, and what sort of ways you could change that maybe as well?
One big regret. I'm very much a person. I don't like to live in regret.
Yeah.
Um, I like to think everything happens for a reason. Sometimes things happen, and it's very hard to find a reason why.
Yeah.
I appreciate when people say that because I feel it myself sometimes, but I am very much everything happens for a reason. So I don't like to live in regret. There's a lot of things, from sort of my teenage years to adulthood. I probably would have seized the day a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good saying, actually. It's a good, yeah.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have held myself back so much but when you're in that sort of situation with your mental health and stuff,
Hmm.
not easy, and to be fair, had I, got myself out there a lot more and stuff, I probably wouldn't have met half the people I've met through online and stuff.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Like, we wouldn't have met, and you wouldn't have met,
Yeah,
Giggsy and
no,
whatnot as well. Like, yeah, so
it takes one little
yeah.
thing to
Hmm.
have happened differently, and
Yeah.
we could have not met. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
um,
And then my life would have been a lot nicer. I'm joking, mate. A lot more peaceful.
yeah, but no, I definitely, yeah, I don't regret anything. I do wish I did more with my with those sort of prime years, so to speak. But I'm still
Yeah.
young. Still got plenty of time to.
Still got that baby face. Well, with the
Still got
face,
the baby face.
the bit of face we ever really see.
Only in
At the
selfies, guys.
top of
When
your
I've got my
forehead.
makeup on.
But no, well, the next one. This is one I sent this to you yesterday, and you're like, I'm going to wait, and I'm going to actually answer this one on the stream. So, if you had the opportunity to go back and redo your life so far over again, would you do anything differently, or do you accept that you've made mistakes and grown along the way?
Again, it sort of ties in with what I was saying before. I don't really regret anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's when I was in college, I don't know if it works this way for every college or if it was just I think it's every British college, but when you start a college course after like from school to college,
Yeah.
um
17,
they
18.
sort of
Yeah.
they sort of give you 6 weeks to change your course if you don't like your course.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember immediately, like after the first sort of week, I was like, I hate this course. I was doing health and social,
Yeah.
and I was like, I hate it so much. Let me change to childcare, and I
Mm.
didn't because I was too scared. I was like, they're gonna hate me. Like I can't do it.
Yeah.
So I didn't, and I ended up dropping out very soon after because I just hated that course so much, and my anxiety was getting crazy about it.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would go back and change that. Who knows if I would have been happier? You don't know. It didn't happen. Again, but yeah, I feel like even though I guess there's little things that have happened that haven't gone so well or they've not
Yeah.
been that great. In some respect, yeah, I'd love to go back and change it and make things different. But there's a lot of things that I've grown from.
Okay. And then in the second part of that as well is if you can go back to one day in your life and change or maybe say one thing differently to somebody or something that you didn't say and you wish you did, what would it be and why?
I was actually saying this little bit of a story to Suze earlier.
Yeah.
There were so just before my dad's mum passed away, she was
Mm-hmm.
in a care home and she was you could tell she was definitely deteriorating fast.
Yeah.
And it was getting increasingly harder to see her. I was very close with her. I spent a lot of my teen years because she lived right around the corner from my school. After my granddad died, they
Mm-hmm.
moved. They still lived in Derby growing up, but she moved a little bit closer to us.
Yeah.
So that we could look after her more. And then she moved from a flat that she was in to a little bungalow that was literally the same street as my best friend from school, and literally 2 minutes from my actual school. So there was a lot of days in my teen years that I went to spend with her, and I used to sleep over a lot and stuff. We were very close.
Mm-hmm.
So it was getting more and more increasingly hard to see her. And one time, for some reason, don't know why, I just couldn't do it. Just couldn't go in and see her.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't know why. I
Yeah.
stayed in the car And then that week, the day after, we'd come up to Wales to see my aunt and uncle for the week. We were there not even 2 days, and then we got the call saying she'd passed away. So if I could go back to that day, I would probably just go and see her that one last time, because you know, I've somewhat made peace with it now, but because I did see her multiple times, I don't know why that one day I couldn't bring myself to do it, because I wish I did now.
But then, you know, on the flip side, you don't know how they're going to be. I know when my granddad was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and I think he had a water infection or something at the time as well. You know, we were around there all the time. Me and my mum, she'd sometimes have to go up there at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and because I'm awake anyway, she'd be like, "Do you want to come with me?" Or in other words, go with her to support her and that. And it was actually a little bit sad to see that in the end, considering obviously, you know, you got all those childhood memories of staying around there and everything like that, and to see the fact that, you know, it's probably only going to be a few weeks till they've moved on, then it's quite sad, and actually a little bit difficult at times as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So moving on, we're not too far from wrapping it up. Actually, we only do probably one or two more. So what motivates you to get out of bed in the morning?
Don't get me wrong, there are some days that are still very hard to get out of bed. But even if I'm not doing much because it's lockdown, well, lockdown's pretty much over, but there's still a global pandemic and I'm high risk, so I'm keeping myself safe. There's just, you know, just not wanting to, you know, waste my life. I might not do much in the day or whatever, but just getting up, and you know, some days that's a struggle. So on the days, you know, when I do, it is good. And just preparing me for actually properly getting myself back out into the world, you know, like when I start work again and stuff. And I'm going out a lot more in terms of, like, if my mum's going to shop or whatever, I'll go with her. I don't always go in with her, I just sit in the car, but it's going out.
Yeah, it's difficult in the lockdown as well. I've only been out probably about 3-4 times.
Yeah, it's getting myself used to being out and stuff. And tomorrow night, or later tonight, because it's now past 12, you know, me and Johnny are going on a little date to a restaurant. So
that'd be nice. That'd be good. Yeah. So the first time since going in lockdown, out of lockdown, is that the first time? Yeah.
We went out. We went back to Derby to see my brother. We went out for a meal there. But first time, I mean, me and Johnny didn't see each other for
weeks, wasn't it, in the end? Months.
Lockdown. It's our first time actually properly getting out, so that'd be nice.
That'd be good, yeah. And then just the last one, really. So there's kind of 2 points to this question. I'll actually do it 2 separate questions, in fact. So you mentioned that your biggest achievement was getting and holding down a job. So sort of why is that so important to you, and what would you say to motivate somebody? You know, what kind of words of motivation would you give to somebody who's in a similar kind of situation?
It's important to me because I haven't really been able to do so up until now. So it is a big achievement. It's finally, you know, just doing something that is actually just a normal thing for everybody else. You know, people have to go to work to earn money and stuff. But
this guy here, Ramdan Alo, he said he wants to know what your name is. He's getting through the comments there. He's posting quite a lot of stuff. We're not ignoring you, mate. I'm just go on. You can answer him.
My name's Nicole. Hi.
Right. So we can move on to now. Go back to what you're saying in regards to that question, because that was just, he's put a few comments there, so I don't want to, ignore him or whatever.
Earning. It's just that earning your own money. That it sort of gives you a little bit of an independence, really. And also, something that everyone does, or most people do. You know, some people finish school, they get pregnant quite early and don't ever work because they're a mum or whatever, or a dad, or
Yeah,
do
really
that
young.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
But in terms of like people that hasn't happened to or whatever, like myself, just
she's camera shy. That's why she's not on camera. She's yeah.
It gives you somewhat of an independence, and also you don't want to sort of. I said this yesterday. One of my doctors said to me, not long ago, they were like, "You don't want to end up being about 40, looking back and thinking, I've done nothing with my life so far."
Yeah, that's a fair point.
That really just struck a chord in me,
and kind of made you just get taken back by it, and
yeah, definitely. Because I just definitely don't want to end up doing that. Sorry, I'm looking at the comments.
Well, this one from Rye, still want to be my support worker.
No, definitely don't.
It doesn't pay very. It don't pay very well. Don't pay well enough, Rye. So no.
No.
Remember, I don't know what I offered you, but it was a lot more than what he did.
I mean, I think he offered the same amount as you, but I know for a fact that he won't pay that up. So no.
Yeah, fair enough. So carry on. In regards to the doctors, what was the What did the doctor say?
So that's sort of what he told me, and it just sort of struck a chord in me. I mean, I look back a year and a half ago, whatever, and I couldn't even look for a job. It gave me so much anxiety, even just looking for a job.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I didn't search for the job that I got. I was in touch with a company that helps people get into education and work and stuff, and an opportunity came up. But I was the one that had to push through that anxiety.
Yeah, the initial kind of nervous barrier. Yeah.
The interview and the open day and all that kind of stuff for it. And I did that. It was hard. It wasn't easy by any stretch of the means. But I pushed through that, and I got the job. So
So there we go. That's really good. And then we'll wrap it up with this last one. So describe what good mental health is to you, and sort of what tips and strategies that you use to deal with it, and how you kind of put it into practice. And sort of that could be on a daily basis, or on a weekly basis, or just as you're going, really.
Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of times, even now, that I get myself into that little hole in my head, and sometimes it's not so easy to pull myself out of it. I always recommend having a good cry. Have a good cry. Even if I'm very much a person, it's weird. Like, I can sit there and I can cry at like a little cute puppy video or something stupid. But when it comes to things a little bit more serious, or when it comes to mental health, I don't find it easy to cry. I don't know why. I just don't.
Same as me. I'm kind of more just keep it bottled up, keep it inside, and I don't really even want to talk about it a lot of the time. I just kind of shy away from even mentioning about it and talking about it. I just go into my own little shell. So
you definitely feel like you're in a bit of a shell, and so I often put on music or put on a film that I know will make me cry, just to get those tears out, because there's not that like sort of weird mental block where it's not letting me. And then have a good cry, have a good sleep, pamper yourself however you feel that may be, whether that be having a bath, or putting on some makeup, or whatever you see as like de-stressing, relaxing. And if it's certain situations, like a couple of weeks ago I was stressing out about money, I watched a film, took my mind off it for a bit, and then
went back to it with a sort of clearer
and I
mind.
went back to it, and I found a solution. I came up with a plan and found a solution. You know, so I put everything into perspective, write everything down, sort of get it off. So you sort of get it off your chest without necessarily having to talk about it with anyone. You're writing it down to yourself. You can sort of see it there. Right, here's what I'm stressing about. Here's what is causing me anxiety, and just try and find a solution for it. But yeah.
All right. Well, I think we'll leave it there, to be honest. Just the final one, just in regards to your football team, Liverpool as well. I'm sure you want to give that a little mention. Obviously, they just won the league. So for those who didn't know or don't know, Nicole was a big Liverpool fan. Yeah, you know, one of the things about anxiety and stress is a lot of that comes from Arsenal, or being an Arsenal fan anyway.
I don't blame you, but you know, very happy on the football front. Yeah, glad we won. We deserve it. We finally deserve it.
All right, we'll leave it there then. To be honest, it's been an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 16 minutes, in fact. So, it's got, I love it how that comes up like 6 times when he puts a comment, but comes up on every single account. But yeah, thanks for doing this, Nicole, and hopefully Rye can learn something out of this as well. And it's always a pleasure to speak to you.
Angie, thank you.
All right, see you later. Bye now.
Bye.